What feels 100% illegal, but somehow isn't? Leaving the store without buying anything. Or worse, putting something of yours into your own pocket while at a store not buying anything. Now this has gotten me stopped. Once leaving a store, a LPO officer stopped me because I put my phone in my pocket while looking around and then left without buying anything. I ended up having to empty my pockets and let the guy pat me down. After he found nothing, he told me to get off the property, which after I didn't see anything I wanted was sort of my goal. Not having to answer a police officer. We too have the right to remain silent. But the police regularly get away with violating pretty much every right we supposedly have. So I guess it really depends on your definition of legal. Card counting. There are no laws against doing it. Many casinos don't want you to do it. And they do not like people who are very apt at detecting patterns and figuring things out quickly in their facilities and will ask you to leave. But card counting is not illegal in itself. You have to throw a couple hands to stay low key, but if they suspect you, they will ask you to leave or return to your suite. On some occasions they will ask you to play a different game such as roulette. You can cheat roulette though. Child beauty parents. Also child marriages in some places. In America we try to make this illegal, but the ACLU keeps stepping in. The child beauty pageants or the child marriages? Leaving work at the hour, minute and second that you actually finished. If you do a bang up job during your regular hours, you shouldn't feel guilty. Laughs in chef. I understand what you are saying, but in the kitchen sometimes is so busy that doing that even after a perfect shift seems insulting. If you don't help at least till it gets everything clean and top up for the other shift. Eating dessert first. You madlad. r/madlads. Taking a penny from the dish at a convenience store. Especially during a coin shortage. Is there a coin shortage right now? Not returning your shopping cart. Apparently, that's the simplest way of testing someone's altruism. Are we referring to Glenn Danzig here? Cause he had a piece to say about that. Civil asset forfeiture. In a similar vein. Violently assaulting peaceful protesters. I don't trust either side's story about any protest. Frequently peaceful protesters are doing anything and everything to antagonize the police, including throwing water balloons full of piss. Smoking cigarettes at a legal age. Holding a gun in a gun store. Digging straight down. Sometimes I'm too lazy to build a mine. For a moment I forgot about Minecraft and I kind of accepted it. Shitting so loudly it startles people outside the stall. Removed. ASSCIIR. Pooping and eating chocolate at the same time. Your body ingests one log and removes another. Perfect balance. Imagine swallowing a log of poo-shaped chocolate the same way you shit though. Like a snake gulping it down. Most American employment law. Well, more recently I still can't get over putting a bandana over my face before entering a store. Before the pandemic, the last time I did that, it was definitely illegal. Yeah. Wearing a mask into a freaking bank felt extremely weird. Being out in the yard during quarantine. Being naked in public. Apparently it's only indecent exposure if anyone gets offended. It's brave when she does it, but a sex offense when I do it. Username checks out. Bringing your own food into the movie theater. Nude beaches. Nude, they are so political here in Seattle. Saying duck you to a parent. Also saying duck you to a random stranger. True. Literally having any uncommon fetish. Driving barefoot. Say what now? A manager being named Karen. Salvia, depending on where you are, that shit is intense. It'll change you. I'm in Ohio, where it isn't legal. Banging your consenting sister in New Jersey. My home state allows what? Constantly reposting the same questions on r/AskReddit. killing Breonna Taylor in modern day America. I had a septoplasty in 2009. They pad your nasal cavity with damp padding, which contains a microscopic amount of cocaine. It felt so wrong, but apparently it was on the up and up. Might explain my sudden urge to wear some Ed Hardy and also wear my sunglasses indoors. You know what it feels like throwing snow 20 feet in people's yards at 3 AM, blocking their driveways and sidewalks with the snow, while making as much noise as you can, while the plow scraps the cement, radio blasting, while enjoying a smoke. It feels totally illegal but great times. Sports betting websites such as DraftKings and others like it. Why the duck can't I do online poker? Again. I really miss online poker. I doubt I'd ever play it for any kind of real money again in this age of bots and collusion. But it was a fun way to pass the time on penny stakes with a few beers and some music. In the early days, I made some decent money playing in the $1/$2 games. Not like buy a Bentley money, but a couple hundred here and there. That never sucked. I remember playing a little bit before big crackdowns. Went into an account with $100. Cashed it out with something like $600. Only ever did low stakes. But it was fun. And everyone knows the game of skill justification for fantasy sports is nonsense. It's not a coincidence that a regular crop of players in professional poker tend to make it further in tournaments/events. Asking this ducking question again. Honestly, it gets asked once a week now. Wish it was illegal, but here we are. Dude, every hot question gets asked once a week if not more. Sort for new and see how bad it is, lol. The cost of healthcare in the United States. We must all submit to it because the only other option is to leave the country. Well, they kinda need money in order to serve people. Other countries don't have as good healthcare, resulting in high taxes. As an adult, peeing in the pool. As a pool guy, peeing in an adult. As a pee guy, adulting in a pool. Sexism, racism, homophobic, transphobic, prejudices. Wait, they're actually legal, like. The law doesn't prevent any of those whatsoever. I mean, you can't call the cops on someone for that. Unless it's hate speech, then I think they can do something. Driving around in my car topless, yet when I do it pantless people get offended. Groping strangers on crowded subway cars. Turning left on red onto a one-way street. Even though there's a sign saying it's legal, I still feel like I'm doing something wrong. The number of people who don't even know you can do this seems to be staggering. Happened the other day. I walked into the bank with a mask on. Being the person who gets the final piece of food after everyone gives a half-hearted you can have it. Buying a vibrator/going to a sex store when you are under 18. It is legal for you to buy, illegal for them to sell, so they get in trouble, not you. That is why they card you. This law is not really enforced though, so a lot of sex stores are really lax about carding. I looked quite a bit older as a young teen. 14-year-old me had more vibrators than most grown women. Was there a reason you wanted to get so many? Any Rex, hahaha. So 5 people use my friend's mom's Netflix and my mom uses it too, since my friend's mom and my mom are friends too, and my mom insists on paying a fifth of the monthly Netflix price or whatever. Anyway, I think that using someone's Netflix or something similar to that without paying or giving someone a fraction of the monthly payment back, it's scamming, but that might just be me. Having the same sample twice at Costco. I'm 30 and I look like I'm 18. Every time I go into a liquor store, I feel guilty. If they card me, I feel better. If they don't card me, I feel guilty. I've been able to legally buy alcohol for 9 years, yet I always feel like I'm doing something illegal. I feel this as a 41-year-old who still gets carded trying to buy kombucha. Just walking past the liquor aisle in the grocery store makes me mentally come up with some excuses to why I had to be there, like, oh, it's right next to the bread aisle. Him totally not trying to look at gin. Comma. Despite the fact that I've been of legal drinking age for nearly half my life now. Getting a full 8 hours of sleep when you have a 2-year-old and work a full-time job. Driving a tank on roads and not paying congestion charges. For me, any U-turn I make puts me on edge. Having the age of consent in the Philippines to as low as 12 years old. Asking this question for the 100th time on this sub. Turning on the car light when your dad's driving. Arresting people because of skin color. Paying Stormy Daniels from campaign contributions and paying a fixer to make it go away. Existing whenever I see a cop car. Searching for porn as a kid. I thought the police would come get me. In fact, I jumped every time the doorbell ringed. I feel like I'm stealing when I buy something with a credit card. No money left my bank account at that moment, and yet I'm leaving with goods that I have not yet paid for. Eating more than one sample at Costco. Buying marijuana from a legal dispensary. Stalking people online, like Facebook photos or whatnot. It's all public access at times, and if you're their friend you basically get free reign. Leaving the grocery store with a free sample, even after paying for your stuff, and not the sample. I'm pretty certain the only reason the Sheen X300 flame weeder is still legal is because no one from any health and safety organization knows they exist. Link. B/A2NCC2 GUA 5A. Flamethrowers are legal in most US states. Maybe 5 states ban them. California, Maryland, etc. That's a pretty tame flamethrower. Apostrophe. Conversion therapy. IDKY, but 18-year-olds having sex with much older men or women just doesn't feel right. Running very fast in the street. Putting stuff in someone's mailbox. If you're not a postal worker, I think it's a felony. Turning left on a red light, or going straight through a red light. Where I am, you can turn left on a red, provided it's a left turn onto a one-way street. As well, where I live there's pedestrian controlled stoplights. Think of a stretch of road where there's no intersection, but there is a traffic light. A pedestrian can push a button to trigger the lights and turn them red. The only requirement is that you stop at the red light. Since it's not an intersection, the only requirement for red lights not at intersections is that you stop, not that you stay stopped. Provided the crosswalk is clear, you can proceed through the lights. Most cops and what should be most people know about the left on red, but very few people know about the straight on red. Hardly anyone ever does it though, because even though it is explicitly legal, it feels very illegal. Companies being able to fund specific politicians. Turning the car light on at night. Showering with clothes on. Exploiting in most games through an injector. I feel so wrong the first few times, until you get a few people who piss you off, and you remember why you got them in the first place. Buying a game and returning it. Purchasing political influence. Liking Instagram messages to end conversations. Maps be like, effing children. I haven't done it, but still it seems illegal. Did you know that due to the Romeo and Juliet law, teenagers 13 to 17 are legally allowed to have sex, as long as both partners are close in age, at least 2 years. Sure, it's super frowned upon. And if you're a teen reading this, don't get any ideas, unless you're ready for it. But in most states, it is perfectly, %100 legal. Selling stock shares you don't actually own. When you are with someone, and you leave the line a little bit and then return. Carrying a sword in public, at least where I live, and OBV not in schools and such. An 18-year-old can legally adopt a 17-year-old. It legal, but it just feels weird. Alt how it would make for a great comedy movie. Governments giving tax breaks to corporations and helping their shareholders make billions whilst cutting welfare budgets for the most vulnerable in society. Coughing in public, not wearing a mask, using your dick to spin like a beyblade in a Walmart, etc. Having a difference in opinion opposite of the public. You get ripped apart if you think different. An 18-year-old having a sexual relationship with someone 50+ years old. Eating 2 vitamin C gums cause they're so tasty. Telling everyone you use Arch Linux. That's why it's fun. I hear it's standard for you Americans to only get 2 weeks paid holiday a year. I don't know how that's legal. Trump's entire presidency and literally every action he's taken, and every word he's spoken. It's very illegal, not very prosecutable, but that's another story. Karma farming. Growing weed in my state. Paying people minimum wage while making billions of dollars of their labor, while also denying them any benefits or paid leave, keeping them desperate and unable to do anything about it. Emily in my physics class, she typed at 18. Probably because she's a little person. Alcohol. Rape accusations that are fake. Honestly anal. Just feels like I'm going to get caught, so I try to hurry. Trying to get a job or move to a new city. Trying to find an honest hard-working woman who doesn't want children. Anyone with a net worth beyond $5 billion sign. No amount of reasoning justifies a wealth accumulation in a society suffering from problems of poverty, homelessness, poor healthcare, etc. Hey, thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.